Massachusetts has a horrible gerrymander. Republicans there typically get 35 to 40% of the vote, sometimes even more. They don't have a single member of Congress. And Illinois' congressional map, I would compare to the scribblings of a small child, but it would be unfair to small children. It is a horrific gerrymander. So it's rich the Democrats have fled Texas to these deeply Democratic states.
Well, that was Senator Tom Cotton here on America Reports with us.
Look at that map, guys. Look at that map. That should say a lot, right? It's kind of hard to, because the concentration of blue is so deeply embedded in obviously like cities and stuff like that. It's really hard to remember, especially this is coming from somebody that lives relatively close to a city. I'm basically in a city. I'm in a rural county right outside of a city, but I go to the city every single day. It's really hard to have like your pulse on the country when you're in a city. And it's just nice that's a really nice map to see. It's just nice to know that that's out there. If you can, please hit the subscribe button before I lose you guys. It helps me out a lot. Let's see what else I have to say over here.
Last hour on the irony of the redistricting battle in Texas. Democrat state lawmakers have fled the state to try and block Republicans from redrawing the congressional map. That led to an ultimatum from the governor.
They face a possibility of facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas. There's one way to cure that, and that is if they get back to the state of Texas and make quorum today at a hearing that we have at 3 o'clock, they can cure themselves of any quid pro quo that would subject them to potential bribery charges.
Let's bring in Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, constitutional law attorney, and professor at the George Washington University. Professor, welcome to you. Good to see you. So what tools does the governor and the state have at their disposal to get these Democrats back?
Well, Democrats have used this tactic in the past. Actually, it was not successful the last time. And it's the sort of legislative equivalent of a child holding his breath until his parents yield to his demands. You're more likely to pass out than prevail. And that is the same as in this circumstance. The governor can call more special sessions. So it's unlikely the Democrats are going to be able to keep this up long enough. They're trying to run out the clock. Now, what the governor is referring to is itself a difficult process. One of the things that he has suggested is that the Attorney General of Texas can argue that these legislators have abandoned their office. Now, to do that, you've got to go to court, and the judge has to say, yeah, this office is now vacant because of their actions. That's a really tough argument to make, but it is possible, but it takes time. That's what the Democrats are hoping for. They need 100 of 150 members to make a quorum. That's why roughly 50 have fled to these Democratic strongholds. Now, when he refers to bribery, he's saying, look, we're going to hit you with very high fines, and you cannot get other people to pay those fines, and you can't accept money during this flight, and I'm going to argue that that is bribery. Once again, that takes a lot of time. So this is a standoff that ultimately the governor is likely to win, but there's no good options here for either side, in my view.
Greg Abbott, in his own words, describing why Republicans are doing what they're doing in the state of Texas. Listen.
Obviously, this redistricting has been happening for a long, long time. Democrats use it all over the map. Everybody uses it. Everybody uses it. It's just in this particular scenario, they are going to definitely lose a couple of seats here once this takes hold. It will take hold. It is going to happen, like they're saying. There's going to be a little bit of back and forth between now and then, but it will be redistricted. There's a shot that Crockett is going to lose her seat because of this, which is why you're getting the amount of pushback that you're getting right now. She's a very out front and very vocal person, Democrat on the left in Texas right now. So she's going to be flailing around because she doesn't want to lose the little bit of authority and power that she has.
Listen.
These voters in these districts won by Trump, they don't have the ability to vote for their candidate of choice now because they're in congressional districts. We have the authority legally under redistricting law to draw districts that align with the voter preferences of the voters of the state of Texas. And Donald Trump proved in these Hispanic-created districts that Hispanics, as well as other people in those districts, they want to vote Republican.
Yet still, the Democrats, including the DNC chair, Ken Martin, are saying that this is Donald Trump and Republicans rigging the system. His own words. Jasmine Crockett gets moved out of her own district in the redrawing. And this is Democrats ripping into this, Jonathan. Listen here.
We really didn't have a choice. This was the only way we could protect our constituents and protect the state.
Our duty is to use whatever parliamentary tools are available to us, and breaking a quorum is one of those tools, and it's the only one that will stop Trump from getting his way.
It is up to Governor Abbott if he wants to call us back. It is his choice. Does he serve Trump or does he serve the people of Texas?
Well, now I'm confused because one Democrat said we have no choice, and then the other said it's the governor's choice. But I mean, make sense of all of this. And how does this eventually end? Where does this go?
Well, Sandra, they do have a choice. It's called representing your district. It's called democracy. You can't be much of a defender of democracy and flee to prevent it from being carried out. There's a difference between denying a quorum in a meeting or a floor and fleeing the state to return to some mothership that's going to protect you. That's not part of this process. I think the governor is right about this, that this goes too far. Ultimately, the governor should be able to hold a special session and will prevail. This has been tried in the past. It has not been successful except to delay. Keep in mind, if these Democrats are correct that these redistricting efforts are going to violate the rights of minority voters, the way that is vindicated is in the courts. You're preventing this from going to the courts. Go ahead, have everyone represent their constituencies, and have the map go forward and challenge it in court. The problem is that if this is held to be constitutional, it really is going to shred this argument. What they're trying to do here is to stop the legislative and political process. And in doing so, they're actually preventing courts from looking at the propriety, the legitimacy of these maps.
Yeah, 100%. And they do it all the time, which is, that's the other part of it, right? It's always the same scenario where they do things all the time, and then as soon as the right says, you know what, we're going to do it too, and they get all up in arms, they get all crazy, they get their panties in a bunch, and they lose it for a while. But I don't think it's going to work. I think there's, like I said, a pretty good shot that Crockett is going to lose her seat. That'd be pretty sweet. And that's pretty much it for this one. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me. 6283 Talk on the X. Please hit the subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. One little click, hit the notification bell. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you again in the next video. I'm John Soto. Peace out.